says you're supposed to live the Torah with the times. And I wanted to share a thought that might be able to put things into perspective. My whole life, since I'm a kid, I learned the Torah, and we're taught about how there was a new king or he toughened up, and it was all very distant. But in order to put it into perspective, I was thinking, what if you're a fan of Trump? What if you're a Republican, you're a big fan of his, you love him, and then all of a sudden he changes. His policies change, his attitude, everything about him changes, and you don't exactly know what to do, because on the one hand, you love him. On the other hand, maybe he's changed. On the one hand, you love his policies. On the other hand, some of them are starting to seem a little quirky. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm saying if you want to really internalize the Torah, you got to take it to a level where you can picture things. So now let's take it a step further. Imagine if that's how the people in those days felt about the Pharaoh. He was great. He was awesome. He was doing all these things, shaking and baking, just like Trump. And then all of a sudden, some things started changing. Perhaps you're not a fan of the ICE policies or things like that. I'm not giving my political opinion one way or the other. I'm just saying as an example. But you excuse it. You back him up, and then things get a little tougher and stronger and harsher. And before you know it, Vayakam Melech Hadash, Trump is this wildly unacceptable leader by your standards. But once upon a time, you loved him. I mean, you're not really sure when it changed, when this happened, but you know that this is not what you signed up for, and you see everything changing slowly, quickly, in different areas. This is what they went through. If you look at it like that, imagine in those days if they were fans of Donald Trump, they had a Donald Trump, they loved him. And then little by little, he started changing policies. He started creating this extracurricular government police group. And then he started using it for reasons like this, to get rid of illegal immigrants, criminals, etc. But now he has something at his disposal that, God forbid, he can adjust and turn in a different direction. And you can use your own imagination to picture how that could play up. It's less than a century since we had the brown coats and things like that. They say that the amazing abilities of the propaganda of Goebbels was that he started 7 years in advance. He created such hatred and distinct animosity towards Jews 7 years before Hitler came to power, so that by the time Hitler came to power, there was no feeling. Killing a Jew was like stepping on an ant. They looked at them as rats. This was not something that happened instantly, and God forbid. I'm not saying anything should happen, and I'm not giving my political opinion one way or the other. I'm just saying that if you want to live with the times and you want to learn from life for your own ability, you got to pay attention and you got to connect dots so that you can understand the Torah better and you can also understand your own life better. See, it's a two-way street. It's pretty interesting. Anyways, I would love to hear your comments, especially on this one. Wishing you guys all a great day. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. You know the deal. And keep warm. Have a good one.